to type number 3, rehab rentals. This is the strategy that's near and dear to my heart. You might know it as the BRRRR strategy, but let's kind of recap what that is. So you're buying a property below value, you're completing a rehab or a variety of renovations, okay? Sounds like a flip, right? But this is where we're transitioning, okay? Then we are gonna rent it out and then refinance to get all of our capital out or majority of it out. And then we're gonna repeat. It's an amazing strategy. All right, so pros and cons, time. This can be a really time-intensive strategy to learn, not gonna lie, because you have to get really good at sourcing deals, negotiating deals, working with contractors, working with property management, right? You're kind of moving backwards on that time scale, but you get a greater reward for doing that. However, there are some people out there that are what we call BRRRR key providers now. So that's kind of an interesting little field that's popping up. So they're like a turnkey provider, or actually they probably were a turnkey provider, but now instead of them taking on the sales risk, they're passing that risk on to you. So they're finding the deal for you, they're managing the construction, they're gonna put a tenant in there, they're gonna place it with property management, and you're gonna be paying for those costs along the way. They have several key points of where they're making money. Another kind of sneaky way that I like getting a BRRRR done is leveraging the property manager. Okay, we can leverage a property manager to purchase property, do light rehabs and construction. They're really connected. They have all the systems there. And maybe your property manager doesn't even know that they can actually provide this service for you, but it can be another cost center for them. So if you're interested, talk to your property manager about what they can do for you. All right, money. All right, money, money, money. Everybody wants to know about the money. With BRRRRs, we can actually leverage a lot of other people's money. I see a lot of investors that feel they have to get in and use all cash in the strategy, which is completely not true. We can use private money lending. We can use hard money lending in order to get started. Now, remember, I said I don't like lines of credit for turnkeys and make rent-ready properties. I do like lines of credit for the rehab portion of a BRRRR, because we're gonna deploy it, refinance, get it out. Deploy it, refinance, get it out. So we can actually leverage that pretty well. Again, that kind of alludes to that we can use the same capital over and over. And the key difference between this strategy and flipping is that we actually get to flip and have it harvest the equity and create the passive income for ourselves, okay? So that's awesome. Now, you do need to have some money to get started. So you have to be able to fund the upfront purchase of this, the rehab, and the reserves on the particular property. And we need to have contingencies. Again, remember, we're dealing with a construction budget. We have to have that contingency. And the crux of a BRRRR project or a rehab project is the second refi, okay? The second appraisal on the refinance, okay? So we're going to get into some best practices on how to mitigate this, but we need to have some contingency funds in place for that second appraisal, okay, or on the refinance. Now, experience. You do need a lot of experience, or somebody on your team needs a lot of experience to execute this, okay? This is really hard for somebody who's really new to go out alone if they don't have some sort of support and mentorship or an amazing team in place, okay? You can start small. That's the beauty of this. Single family homes, studio condos, and you can apply all these learnings and scale up. We really took this concept of value add strategy and turned it into the BRRRR strategy. We actually took this from the multifamily world. That's what a lot of syndicators do. That's what we do at Good Egg, is that we buy properties below value, we rehab them, we push the equity on them, and then we hold on to for cash flow. That's the exact same strategy here, and you can do it on a single family house pretty easily, okay? And the key value here, connecting it back to fix and flipping, is it's all about what kind of value can you create that other people don't see. So let's jump into some considerations and then work our way through the best practices. Are you set up for success, right? We make money on the buy in this strategy, okay? I see a lot of investors that will buy the property, they're really excited to get into construction, and then they kind of go, oh, okay, how am I gonna work on the refi? Or, you know, what is the true ARV on my property? We need to have all those puzzle pieces actually figured out when we purchased, because knowing what the market is, the submarket, the neighborhood, is that area a desirable rental area? Those all play into our business plan. So we want to kind of have that all laid out at the very beginning. And like a flip, we want to make sure that we're rehabbing to the competition. Now we have two competitions that we need to consider here. We have the sales competition. So are we over rehabbing or under rehabbing to be able to resell it if we need to? And what are the other people doing, other landlords doing to rent their property? We want to make sure that we're actually competing well with them in the market. Okay, so this is where a realtor or a property manager can be very key in helping you figure those things out. All right, here is my little BRRRR that I did in Kansas City. Again, I did this last year. It was a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, single-family house, about 1,200 square feet. Now, for you seasoned investors here, 1,200 square feet, 2-bedroom, 1-bath. What do you think I did? I went and put in a 3rd bedroom. There has got to be a 3rd bedroom in there somewhere. Also, the realtor failed to market that there was a full basement below this property. Okay. I didn't finish the basement. I left some value add for other people to do. But that was also a key marketing strategy as well. I purchased this home for about $72,000, and then it only took me about $8,000 in order to just update the paint, replace countertops, and then I literally just had to add 1 wall for the bedroom. Okay, and that took about 2 weeks to finish. Now, the cool thing about this strategy, while I intended to hold on to it, I actually had another investor come along just a couple weeks later. Now that I got this property all up to speed and rent ready, got it tenanted, and he offered me $125,000 cash. Remember, I only had 80 grand in. He offered me $125,000 cash. Guess what I did? I took the money and I went and did 2 more projects just the same. So it's
hard to say no to that.
Hard to say no. So, but let's talk about the best practices here, okay? Again, run your numbers, okay? Make sure that you're doing the numbers again at the beginning, okay? We want to address any of these cash flow issues, debt service covered issues at the beginning. Another point here is make sure to line up your refinance lender at the beginning of a project, okay? Because they're going to be able to guide you on where they feel the ARV will come in, what the debt service coverage ratio will come in at. So you can actually take care of that all at the beginning. Again, know that after repair value, your second refinance, or excuse me, the second appraisal or the appraisal of the refinance is going to be very key to actually executing the strategy well. All right. And then you can recycle the capital. Okay. So you can actually, if you have 50 grand to get started, you can continue to scale up over time by recycling that capital. All right. And then think of ways that you can add value. Can you add a bedroom? Can you make the basement storage? What can you do here? Again, creating value. I'm going to take a pause. I saw a question that came in here before we move on. Is that okay, Brad?
Yeah, go for it.
Awesome. Okay, so somebody wanted me to go through the numericals on this. Great. So on this particular property, we have $125,000 after repair value. So to execute a BRRRR, ideally, you want to be all in for 70% of the after repair value. So let me grab a quick calculator here. So that means my target, I needed to be all in on this project for $93,750 in order for my refinance to go swimmingly well and not leave any of my own money in the deal. So then you back out what your construction is going to be. So if I only needed to be at 93,000, then I'd back out the 8,000, and then that becomes the highest purchase price that I should pay for the property. Okay, so that's just kind of a quick way to analyze the BRRRR. Okay, all right. So, and I'll tackle some rest of the questions later on, but I want to make sure we get through all the different strategies we're talking about